Hello and welcome to everybody joining us on Facebook. I'm with the lovely Carol Vorderman. The reason Carol's here is that she has put together a petition with the help of 240,000 other people who've signed it yes. To get a knighthood for a very special man. Tell us about him.
Okay, so this petition was set up 3 weeks ago to try to get a knighthood for a gentleman called George Johnny Johnson, who is our last surviving dam buster. So he took part in the dam buster raids, part of 617 Squadron in 1943 in the May. And many of the men died that night, but Johnny was one who came back. And heroic actions. Since the war, he's done an awful lot for charity, works with young people, and so he's 95 now. And I got to know him last year because I'm the ambassador of the Royal Air Force Air Cadets. So I'm very privileged and honoured to be an honorary group captain within the Royal Air Force. It means a lot to me. And I met him because of his work with Air Cadets last year, and we've become quite good friends. We both live in Bristol. And so that was all fine, everything's lovely. And then 3 weeks ago, I was rang up by the Sun newspaper, who said he was nominated, Johnny had been nominated for an honour, but hadn't appeared on the New Year's honours list. And so he'd been snubbed, in effect. I had nothing to do with that nomination. So I said, well, we should set up a petition. We should do something about this and put in a new nomination for him. Because if those people who did receive knighthoods, such as the Director of Communications on at number 10, is now Sir
Craig Oliver.
Yeah, you know his name. See, I don't really know.
I've worked with him.
Okay, who I'm sure is a very nice gentleman and all of that. No, if the Honours Committee think that he is deserving of a knighthood, which they obviously do, then surely Johnny Johnson is 100 times more deserving. I'm not saying that Craig Oliver isn't. I'm just saying that if that is the rule, then I would consider that Johnny is far more deserving, and so would the almost 250,000 people who've signed in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah. If you're interested in this story, and so many people are, and you want to send us questions on Facebook, then go to Facebook, search for Channel 5 News, probably already there. If you are, send us a question on anything. You prepared to take any questions?
Any questions,
at
yes.
all?
Anything, jungle, anything.
Jungle, really? And flying, of course?
Flying, which is my passion.
That is your passion,
yes,
isn't it?
yes.
And you are an ambassador for the
Air Cadets, yes, which I absolutely love. And if you want to sign the petition, just go change.org dambuster,
right,
and then it will come up. And please do sign, because the petition remains open.
Yeah.
So today we delivered the petition along with his new official application, if you like, or
so you're nominating him again?
Again, a fresh nomination with new letters of support and so on.
And when is that considered, do you know?
Well, we're trying to get it in so that he could be considered for the Queen's honours list in July, which I think comes out July the 1st. And there's no excuse, there's no, that we can't operate that quickly. They can, because a lot of, quite rightly, Olympians and Paralympians have been given honours within a few months of achieving their gold medals, so, and quite rightly too. So if they can do it for that, they can do it for Johnny. He is 95, you should remember that.
He is 95, exactly. And he's a very humble man as well, isn't
very
he? Does he want a knighthood?
Well, he sort of, you know, he said he would accept with due humility on behalf of 55,573 men who died in Bomber Command and who were snubbed after World War II.
We have a question from Ruth, which is not related to Bomber Command, and is related to other things. As I said, you can contact us about anything at all. Ruth asks, why do you like maths?
I just do. I always have. I find numbers are my friends, and I think I was taught particularly well. And I now have an online maths school, and I teach about 10,000 children a day through that. And so I teach patterns.
10,000 children a day?
Yeah, it's great. It's a great school. So
that's an online classroom,
it's fantastic. Yeah, we were nominated for an award last night, actually, in education technology. And we have fantastic results with the kids. They advance, we know, because of data. It's been going 7 years. They advanced 27 months in 12 and they're with us.
But where did that sort of love of maths come from?
It comes from this kind of understanding of numbers, about patterns. So all mathematicians are looking for quick and easy ways to do things. And when you see patterns, when you're taught patterns, it's so easy. It's just so easy.
I do not even have a maths O level.
Don't you? I could teach you maths O level.
Could you?
Yeah. I love teaching. My daughter loves teaching.
For some of us, it's much harder than for
It
others.
is.
And I did a master's degree, and there was a statistics exam.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely terrifying.
Panicking.
Yeah, came out in a cold sweat.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. There is such a thing as dyscalculia, which is a sort of, you would say, the numbers equivalent of dyslexia. Most often you wouldn't have the two. You either have it with the letters or with the numbers, which is something I want to look into a lot more. But I know we solve that problem for a lot of kids. It's about pattern work.
Yeah. Keep questions coming in. From Alan, what's it like being a pilot?
Oh, I love it. So I got my first licence, my private pilot's licence, 3 years ago. That's it. I was 53. And it was the fulfilment of all of my dreams, really, because when I was very young, in the 70s, I went to university, I went to Cambridge I was on free school meals in a comprehensive school, and it was like unheard of, for a girl to get to Cambridge, no circumstances, in mixed college, to read engineering, on the sole basis that I wanted to become a fighter pilot with the Royal Air Force. And so I marched up to what's called the University Air Squadron. So all universities are linked to the RAF element of it is called the University Air Squadron. And I knocked on the door, the Cambridge University Air Squadron. I said, I'm here because I've been sitting next to all these lads in engineering lectures who go, I had a free flying lesson, on Saturday. And I was like, how? Because you didn't have the internet then to look these things up, just like, it's word of mouth mainly. And so I marched up and they said, that's very nice, very nice. Why are you here? I said, well, because I want to join. Here I am.
I want to be a fighter pilot.
Aren't you lucky? Yeah. They said, no, you can't come in. What? Why not? I'm doing engineering. Blah, blah, blah. And they said, because you're a girl.
How frustrating.
We're not allowed to join. And so I then had to go off and earn money elsewhere because I'm from a very, very poor family and my mother was homeless yet again. So it was all of that kind of thing led to, in my 50s, obviously I'm quite comfortably off now, luckily, thanks to what I've done for the last 30 years. And I'm very grateful for that. So I got my private pilot's licence 3 years ago, and then I bought a little plane. And the first time, and I never thought as a 17-year-old when I went to Cambridge, couldn't even imagine that this dream would come through. I flew myself, my first time I flew myself by myself in my own little plane.
What was that like?
Was from Gloucester to Cambridge. Oh, it was amazing. From Gloucester to Cambridge, and I got out. My daughter was at Cambridge, and she was accepted in the University Air Squadron. And I went there, so I'm going to cry, I went there for lunch with my daughter who had been accepted, because obviously things have changed now. And then I flew myself home, and it was closing a circle for me. Isn't it fantastic how these things have come together, and how lucky I am? And it really was one of the most golden days of my life.
How you're realising a dream.
Yeah. Even though I'm past my sell-by date.
You're certainly not that. Andrew says, what's the secret to your youthful looks? He does.
It's obviously going to bed early at 9 o'clock and only drinking water.
Yeah.
I'm lying.
Yeah, I was at the National Television Awards with Carol last night, and she was not only drinking water, and she was past her bedtime. You are as well going to do something rather special in the spring.
Yes, I am. It's summertime. So I always wanted to fly, as I've said. And so I decided, don't ask me why, that I would semi-retire from television. And
that's going well then.
That's going well. And then give myself a challenge. And so my challenge is to fly around the world solo in my own little plane. And then I started looking it up. There are only 8 women in the history of aviation who've ever done this,
really?
For good reason. It's hard.
Yeah.
So
where do you refuel?
And all of that. Yes, I can take you through the route once we've decided exactly where it is, but we're more or less there now. And so to do that, I had to go. I've been training in America. I've been training in all sorts of different places and getting better and better and better. So I'm sort of one down from a commercial airline pilot now, really, in terms of exams I've passed and all of that. And I've got a slightly bigger plane. She's got 2 engines.
A plane's
called Mildred.
Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And so Mildred has 2 engines because there is that nasty moment, particularly when you're over water, and you have what's called a glide circle. So let's say you're at 10,000 feet. And so if your engine went, how far could you glide that plane? And I was flying to Dublin, and the whole of the glide circle was over water. And I thought, so if my single engine goes, I've got to land in water. I thought, right, I'm buying a plane with 2 engines. That's it. Because it's my greatest fear, is having to ditch in water. Yeah. So I got a plane with 2 engines instead. And she's wonderful, but she's quite a complex aircraft. So there's an awful lot to it. So anyway, so it's kind of guides everything that I have been doing for the last 18 months. And so I start off in May, and then I land in early July.
And you and Mildred are going to be followed by Channel 5 as well,
by Channel 5. We're doing a 3-part series.
Yeah.
I'm doing it anyway, and Channel 5 sort of observing what I'm doing. We've already been filming for quite some time because I had hoped to do it last summer, and I was heartbroken when I found, just because of regulations with extra fuel tanks, that I couldn't do it in the weather window for the summer. There was no way the administration could go through in time, and I was heartbroken. And so it is happening. There's so much to learn, Sian, and it takes me through all of Asia, Vietnam and the Philippines and Taiwan and Japan and South Korea and Kamchatka in eastern Russia and across the Aleutian
I've no doubt you can do it, though. I have no doubt. If you
I'm
put
doing
your
it
mind
for
to
air
it,
cadets. I'm doing it to raise money for air cadets, and also for the NASA Challenger Centres, which are the education centres, and I'm on the board of directors of that. So I've been given permission to land, can you imagine, at Kennedy Space Centre.
Really? That will be incredible. That you're already terrifically excited. There will be a day when you'll get on a plane, a commercial airline, going somewhere, and at the end, it'll be, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Your flight captain this evening.
I would love that.
Carol Vorderman, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, as ever. Thank you very much for joining us on Facebook. Do keep in touch on the Facebook page with Channel 5 News, because we're having lots more chats with lots more interesting people over the coming weeks. See you soon.